Like, personally, I'm a huge fan of Innovation just because of his Acer days, back when he was on Team Acer. Because before that, he was on, or when he was on Acer, he was a part of Axiom Acer, playing in GSTL. Like, that was huge. He was their ace player for that second season. Or was the third season? I think it was second season. All right, but here we go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres LE. We are here. We are in the grand finals of ESL Open Cup number 79, Americas. And we have our French Terran. He's red, representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres LE, we have South Korean Terran. He's blue, representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming DPG. It is Cure. Classic ESL Open Cup Americas finals, Europe versus South Korea. This is what we expect. Oh god. But yeah, I mean, we have this quite often. Whether it's Cure, Clem, more often than not, it's like a PvP between Zest and Max Pax or Geralt. Who's the other? I feel like there's another one. Max Pax, Geralt, and God, his name slips past my mind. But there's another European Protoss that often competes in these as well and goes far. So yeah, Geralt actually, he wasn't here today, which is odd to me. He's usually here competing. Hope he's okay. Hope he is okay. Oh, he was in the Team Liquid map contest. Ah, TLMC. True. Cool. That's something that I haven't been able to keep up with, unfortunately. Again, when it comes to a lot of European events, as you can imagine, we gotta sleep at some point, right? And European events just aren't at a good time for people living in Australia, unfortunately. They usually start at like midnight or 1 a.m. Oh boy. Right, well, here we go. We are getting into this TvT. And what do we have in store for us here? Nothing too crazy, no proxies or anything like that. Everything is pretty standard. They were both scouting, or at least Clem was scouting outside his base to make sure there was no proxy here at the third location. Cure, a little bit more confident in his play. Isn't afraid of anything out on the map. Oh boy. But yeah, the South Koreans that stay up for ESL Open Cup EU, they're crazy. Zest and Hero, man. Shaking my head. Oh boy. Especially because they have to play on EU. Like, oh, that can't be good. Oh boy. But I know Hero especially wants to get as much practice as he can for the next season of GSL. Whether it's ladder practice, custom games, and competing in tournaments like this. I can't wait. Can't wait until he comes back and pops off. I know it's going to happen. Meanwhile, we do have a 1-1-1 opening here from both players, but done a little bit differently. Clem, he's got his add-ons on the way, going to have tech labs on both the starport and the racks, so going to be looking to go into, I imagine, Banshees on the way. Oh, sorry, I mean the TvT, Raven, of course. Meanwhile, Cure is getting there. He's getting there just a little bit later with his add-ons. There it is. There's the Raven. I gotta switch into the TvT mode. Kind of shockingly, this is our first TvT of the day. Usually we cast them early on, but not this time. Not this time. This is what happens when Milk isn't here. Meanwhile, here comes Cure trying to bait out that Widowmine, and he does bait it out, and now the Reapers are free to push on forward, but the Cyclone comes out just in time. Clem is able to push Cure away. You could argue that with this amount of Reapers, maybe Cure can try and jump and pounce on that Cyclone, but honestly, it's really risky. Obviously, the Cyclone can micro back into the middle line and then get repaired. It could be an ordeal. So Cure doesn't really achieve much with his opening, which is why his 1-on-1 was a little bit more delayed compared to that of Clem. And with it, what does he have? He does have map control, I guess. He does have his Cyclone out of the map, so he can try and catch like any kind of drop or a Raven that moves out. but Cure not really finding what he wanted. He's down in workers, down in his build. Production, I mean. And behind this, Clem is working on his third CC. I think what's interesting to me is that, yeah, Cure finally starts his, but again, quite a bit later. Does it matter too much? It does impact the game, but not as much as we would like. TvT is a lot more slower. It's probably the slowest out of all the mirror matchups. Like ZVZ is more of a knife fight. PvP can be more of a blind knife fight with like a coin toss in there as well. TvT, it's a lot more chill, a lot more laid back. It's more about the tank lines, the sieges, the unsieges, the doom drops. Speaking of, Cure is now pushing out across the map with his force, plenty of fire. Still doesn't have any upgrades. This isn't lined up with Stim either, which is a little bit interesting to me. But at the end of the day, is Stim the biggest deal? The biggest deal are your tanks and your Ravens. As we have plenty of energy here to disable. We have enough for 2. And he's looking to hit this third base. Interestingly, Clem is moving out at the same time, so this third is exposed. This base shouldn't fall, but again, it's going to take a lot of damage and he will force the lift off. Oh god, Clem, he pulls back to respond. Meanwhile, the base is taking a little bit of damage. Ooh, nice knock on the Raven. No! The Raven gets picked up before any spell gets used. Ay, Cure, please. We have one disable on one of the tanks, but that's not going to be enough. One of the tanks does fall of Cure. The second is going to fall as well. Oh god. Cure taking a pretty bad fight here. I mean, so he got some SCV kills. He forced a lift up on the third base, but he lost 2 tanks in the process. And now Clem, he wants to catch the rest of the army. Okay, he isn't quite able to get it. Cure able to reinforce, keep his army alive. Even lands the Vikings. He has to because he does not have air control. But a disastrous fight there for Cure. Did he lose both of his Ravens, by the way? He did. He lost both Ravens. Ay. Now Clem is in full control. He's retaking his third base. Cure finally taking his own, but... oh my god, there it is. The disable on the tank. Another tank of Cure's is going to fall. And what do you do here if you're Cure? Like, your opponent has air control, they have the tank count, they have everything, they have a better economy. Oh, nice couple of free shots off on the tanks there. But the Vikings get landed, there's not enough on the ground, everything of Cure's is going to fall, it all gets cleaned up. And now Clem can just keep going. There's nothing to stop him. What do we have to defend? We have one tank. One tank! Oh my god. Vikings are the MVPs. They do force Clem back a little bit. Tank the siege. And luckily for Cure, Clem, he doesn't really have what he needs here. He has to wait for his reinforcements. They're on the way, but this tells me that Cure has a little bit more time to get a better defense up and running. Now he has 4 Vikings. He is now the one with air superiority because Clem landed his own earlier to try and take the fight. And with this Clem, he's trying to circle his way around, but yeah, Cure has done a really good job at stopping him, at slowing him down. Can he stop the push though? Because he has 2 tanks, no more Ravens. Oh, loses a Viking. But he is in position. Prematurely pulls the boys a little bit unnecessarily, but he was ready for it because he knows the situation he's in. He knows that he's up against the wall. Oh my god, these Vikings just so good. Picking up another Viking. Sorry, another medevac. And we're getting to the point where now that Cure has 3 tanks, he's okay at home. He has bought enough time where he has mustered up enough tanks, enough of a tank count where he can defend. And the game will continue. From here, where are we going? We see a lot of scans being thrown down. Cure does have the sensor tower as well, just in case, so he doesn't get caught off guard. There is still room here for a doom drop, and that is why the Vikings are chilling, waiting for said drop. And there are a lot of medevacs. I mean, Clem could go for one. Stims forward, but Cure, he is on point with his own siege. Both tanks do go off. Looks like Clem ending up a little bit on top in that trade. I'm just waiting for the moment to see, like, where does Clem's starport production go from here? There we go. I was like, we have plenty of medevacs. We need to see Vikings again. We need that Viking count to catch up to that of Cure. And thankfully for Clem, Cure has stopped on 3. Like, that is it. He is now transitioning into those Liberators. So Clem has a chance to catch up with those Vikings and regain that air superiority, that air control. Oh, Small Marine Force trying to hit this northern base here of Cure. Clem trying to find a way in with his tanks. Can't quite make it though. Just see them rotating back and forth. I feel like really Clem just has to wait for his Vikings. He needs those Vikings. Then when they come in, then we can see Clem go for a Doom Drop. Or just, you know, just push in with his tanks. Like, again, this is a massive tank count. It's crazy. We have 11 tanks to 5. Clem has over double the tank count of Cure. And that doesn't mean you can A-move into this, obviously, but once he commits, like, he's just gonna have so much firepower. And here we go. Here is the commitment. He does siege up. Takes a lot of shots already. Liberator does siege up as well, but the Marines do reposition to try and clean up this Liberator, but they don't get it. Oh my god. Cure just a solid defensive wall here. Sure, he has the lower tank count. Sure, he had like a little bit more of a delayed upgrade as well, but he does hold on strong. Clem forced back. What's important is that Clem didn't throw away his tank lead, but Cure closed the gap. Now it isn't as large as it once was. Oh boy, meanwhile Cure, he's catching up in his upgrades. 2-2 finally about to finish up again. That's how crazy that defense was. Like, Clem is ahead in upgrades, he's ahead in tank counts, and still just couldn't break him. And that's why, like, TvT can be so slow. I was talking about it earlier, like, doesn't matter if you have a supply lead, like, defender's advantage in TvT is just huge. It's insane. What matters more is positioning. And now we're getting to the point where, like, all of these advantages that Clem used to have, they're being taken away from him. 3-3 is about to finish up. And Cure, he's not too far behind, right? You know, Cure, he's working on that tank count. He was trading a little bit more efficiently over time. What I will say is that Clem is already starting on, like, he's switching to Mass Raven. We do have 2 more starports on the way, so we're gonna have 4 starport production. Corvid Reactors is on the way as well, so he will have a massive tech lead, but he doesn't have it yet. He's working on it. He's working on it. Meanwhile, Cure just forcing Clem back with all these Liberators, them freedom zones. God, Clem was the first to siege there, but oh my god, Clem loses almost every single one of his Marines, and now in come the Liberators. And this is what I was worried about. Like, sure, Clem, he's switching to Mass Raven, sure, that's great and all, but he just lost almost his entire army, or I should say half his army. Does it matter though? Probably not. Because now it's Cure's turn to be aggressive. Now it's his turn to push out across the map. Oh my god, Clem gives up his base. He's going for a bit of a surround instead. Interesting choice. Here come the Ravens. Okay, nice disables on the majority of the tanks. Now in comes Clem trying to collapse on this army from both ends. Is it going to be enough? I mean, the disables were good. And looks like it is enough. All the tanks finally get picked off. And Clem does take a decisive victory here. but he did kind of lose the base in the process. Oof. Oh. There we go, the bases are being retaken. And as I was saying before, like, Curie's about to catch up in those upgrades. Like, again, there was a lot going for Clem in that defense. But now that's slowly going away. Army supply very even between the two players. Tank count, pretty even as well. Clem ahead by 2, only 2. Oh, we'll see how they do fight here, as we do have more disables on the tanks of Cure. Cure can't really get his own off. He does disable 2 in the back line, and there are no more Marines here for Clem. Oh my god. Kind of neglecting his buyer count there, and as a result, Clem loses so many tanks. Clem down to only 3 tanks remaining here, so Cure has some momentum going his way. Finally, his own Ravens come out. Or more of his own Ravens, I should say. And Clem, I feel like he feels like he's in a desperate situation here. He's going for a Doom drop, which is great, like this 3 medevac drop. What this means is there is nothing protecting these tanks. These tanks are so naked. If Cure pushed in now, he could potentially end the game. He'll be able to clean up this army, take out the base, get on top of the Ravens. But he doesn't go for it. He doesn't scan. He doesn't really see. And now this drop here, it's going to do a lot. Forces a lift up on the 3rd base. Forces all the SCVs off the line. Yo, tanks, you got to siege up. You got to siege up. The Ravens. No, the Ravens go down. The tanks go down. At the same time, Cure, he was trying to go for a fight. And he's just given up on his bases. The Marines are in the main. Oh my god, this is disastrous for Cure. Now Clem, all he has to do is defend. He is a little bit out of position. Cure finds a way up the ramp into the natural, and just like Cure, Clem, he's not paying attention to his reinforcements. He loses 2 Ravens. Oh my god. This is the problem though. Is the mass Raven of Clem. He throws down all these auto turrets. He cleans everything up. Clem defends. And in the end, Cure is the one who sustains so many more losses. Very back and forth. Very back and forth, but Cure is struggling so much more here. Can he bring it back? I mean, it's always possible. In the TvT, it's always possible. Like, this drop here could try and do the same, could try and take out a bunch of workers, could try and maybe catch some reinforcements, but Clem's army is pushing out across the map. Cure isn't ready for this. He sees this on the sensor tower, by the way, and he's not sieging. Oh my god. He does not react. Meanwhile, these auto turrets are kind of in the way, so Clem can't make his way through, but he does take out the tanks. Only 2 tanks remaining here for Cure. And this is the slow death of Cure, mate. Just doesn't have enough. There it is. The tanks just shell away at the planetary fortress. It will go down, and Cure can't do anything about it. He can just sit there and watch. Sure, he's trying to repair, and actually, Clem doesn't finish it off. 1 more tank volley is all Clem needed. Instead, he tries to hit the southern base, and he gives Cure an opportunity here. Cure can come back. He saves the planetary. Like, that's huge. Just trying to pick up some reinforcements. And it looks like he will get a tank. And he's forcing Clem to respond. Clem didn't kill any... What? What is happening? What is happening right now? Cure actually pulled Clem all the way back home. And Clem didn't end up getting any base. Oh my god. Well, these Marines are going to get... Ugh, that was a big drop in supply there for Cure. But Cure holds on to his 4th. He holds on to his 5th. Didn't really lose many workers there. Yeah, Clem could have pulled the trigger, but he opted not to. And now this is this is still anyone's game. Cure, he takes a small win here, picks off another tank. These tanks do stare at each other. Still plenty of Ravens available for Clem. Oh my god. Oh, the Viking count is insane. Cure can't really contend against that. As, the Ravens and the Vikings just rule the skies. Clem takes another decisive win there. Cure gives up on it. He just goes across the map with his Marines. We have another double drop here towards the left-hand side of the map. A base is going to fall. Finally, I feel like Clem is going to start taking down these bases. And just like last time, Cure goes for a counterattack because he knows that he has to. And Clem pulls back. Oh my god. This is crazy. I think maybe Clem has like some PTSD against Cure, like he's maybe let this run wild a little bit too often and it just doesn't work for him. But like Cure forcing Clem back like this, it just gives him so much time. He trades so well, picks up more tanks, picks up a couple of Ravens here and there. This will get cleaned up, but now here come the reinforcements for Cure looking to take out a base of his own. As auto turrets are thrown down, but the Ravens, oh god, they're being picked off. Cure, please. The Viking count is just so high here for Clem. Every single time they fight, Ravens just keep falling from the sky. And even though he had a nice move, and even though Cure was able to actually max out like a couple of seconds ago, he's just lost. He loses every single Raven. Every single Raven just moved into their death. And there's no way to come back from that. Ay, ay, ay. 18 Ravens have gone down for Cure. And now he's got nothing left. He's got Marines and tanks, and that is it. He doesn't have any Vikings. He has one medevac. He doesn't have any Ravens. His starport's actually reproducing those medevacs instead. Trying to go for some drops. Like earlier, Cure, he was pulling himself back into the game, but here, there's no way. There's I don't want to believe that there's a way for Cure to get back into this. All the unsiege tanks simul. Yeah, it's a massacre, mate. it's a massacre, Grape Dactyl. Oh my god, we do see some disables, but Clem himself just lost every single Raven. Mate, these guys just don't want to win. It doesn't matter though, Clem will be able to clean this up regardless. Show me the units lost. 26 Ravens have gone down for Clem, 18 for Cure. You do not want to be a Raven in this series. Cure is going for a drop across the map, going to be able to take down the next, planetary. Cure himself is going to lose his own CC. And I just don't see a world where Cure wins this. Like, the supplies are pretty close, but if you look at the units, we have 4 tanks for Cure. Like, I don't know, mate. Maybe if he catches Clem unsieged. Maybe? Solar buyer? Clem is coming back, by the way. He's rotating towards the army of Cure. Clem going with the sandwich. Cure's stuck in the middle. Mate, you gotta do something. Oh, but who's the real sandwich player? We'll find out. As all the tanks get matrixed, oh, the Marines do battle against each other, but Cure comes out on the bottom, not on top. And this is the end of Cure, mate. He tries to go over the surround, but it's just not enough. And this should be the end of the end, mate. GG gets called. Clem takes game one. That was game one. That was game one, people. Ay, ay, ay. Jesus Christ. And now we're just diving straight into game two. Just diving straight on in. Gonna be on romantic. The whole world romanticide. Why was this not vetoed? Oh god. I worry for my sanity. Let's go. Game number 2 of this series. Like Cure, he had some nice moves, like in the middle of that game to be able to like pull himself back, but it did feel like time and time again, Clem was just trading better. Like throughout the entirety of this game, of game 1, throughout all of it. But we'll see. We'll see where things take us here in game number 2, because spawning in the bottom right, we have the player who is currently down in this series, but it's okay. It's a best of 5. We got plenty more games where that came from. We have a South Korean Terran. He's blue, representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming. It is Cure. And spawning in the top left, we have his opponent, the French Terran. He is red. He has stayed up all night to compete and play in this tournament. It is currently 5 a.m. It's 5 a.m. What, what a madman. We have Team Liquid's Clem. I'll be back in 40 minutes for the start of game 3, right? Like, ay, ay, ay. We're on romanticide, great. I need your strength. I need chat strength right now to get through this. Oh god. This is where I need my Darking or my Milk or my Yaku. Oh boy, I'm all alone here in this TvT, and that's something that we never want to see, mate. Alright, here we go. We want people to pop off. So, Cure, if you remember, he put himself behind in the beginning of game 1 because of his aggressive opener, because he committed even further to these Reapers and Hellions, and he tried to like force the issue early on. But Clem was just a solid wall at home. We'll see if Cure goes for a similar opening, if he goes for something a little bit different. We'll see if Clem is the one to really ramp up and turn on that aggression. We will find out. As so far, openers are pretty similar. We do of course have the reactor on the way for Clem. And Cure is looking for a proxy. Everywhere actually. Reaper is hunting towards the south. SV went all the way up here towards the north as well. Just in case it was a proxy factory or proxy starport. He confirms there's nothing, gets a CC. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, and Clem is just going straight into a 1-1-1, just relying on a single Reaper to defend at home. Meanwhile, Cure, once again, is just relying a little bit more on these early game units, going for a Reaper and a Hellion, so a little bit of a safer opening, as he is setting up, oh my, the Widowmite. Interesting. Very interesting. We'll see how this Widowmite does here as, oh my god, let's go! I wanted some earlier game aggression, and that's what we're getting here as Clem is going for concussive shells and some marauders. So this does well against Hellions, this does well against Cyclones. It doesn't do too well against Banshees. Marauders, they don't shoot up, unfortunately. Like their arms are too heavy. They can't lift them up above their heads. So this is a little bit worrisome. We do have obviously a Banshee opener here from Cure. This could deal a lot of damage. What is there to deal with said Banshees? Not much. Not much actually shoots up here. Doesn't have any Marines, no Vikings, no Cyclones. Clem is going across the map with his Hellions and his Marauders. And the Banshee is about to finish. I think this is just defended. To be fair, it's possible that the Banshee doesn't stay at home to defend and just goes across the map and Cure tries to defend without it, but here we go. Here comes Clem. The Wintermine! Goes off. Immediately the medevac goes down. The worst case scenario here for Clem. Clem, he's trying to make it happen. He does take down the Hellions, which is great. He's going to be able to take down the Reapers as well, but the Banshee comes home to defend, and the Banshee will clean everything up. The Banshees are here. And 5 SCVs went down, which is nice, but I'm sure Clem wanted to do more. And now Clem has to defend. He has to be ready for this. What do we have? Marines? Okay. We got a Cyclone. We got a Raven. We have what we need to defend against Banshees. And just like that, the aggression has ended, and we are getting into a longer game. Oh boy. As the Banshee is slipping in, it is spotted by Clem. He's going to be able to react with his Marines. I say he's going to be able to react with his Marines. There we go. Raven shows up. We have the lock on. Oh no, the Raven! That Banshee goes down. Oh god, it wasn't on hold position. It was on A move a little bit there instead. And the Banshee does fall. Meanwhile, we have one more Banshee here in the natural. 6 worker kills. Honestly, not bad. It makes up for the amount of workers that that Cure lost earlier. So we be even now in the workers. We be even. And yeah, again, we're just strap ourselves in. You know, we're getting our third bases up and running, or at least Cure is. His is already down on location. Meanwhile, Clem has his own, just needs to float it over. Ooh, another Banshee gets picked up for free. Was that the third Banshee? Okay, no, that was the second. Thank God. Thank God. Now Clem is moving out of the map. Of course, he got his Raven earlier. He has plenty of energy on it. He can disable said Ravens of Cure and potentially snowball. Oh, but Cure does spot the army. He does see the Ravens coming across the map. He is aware. He's on alert. And he should be sieging up. Should be sieging up. There we go. You're worrying me, Cure. Oh, and this is dangerous. Vikings, okay, they're about to pop out here for Cure. He's gonna have them to protect his Banshees. I keep saying Banshee, Raven. God, they're both birds. Birds? They're both in the sky, okay? Banshee, Raven, Viking. In the end, they push each other back. Clem doesn't really decide to push in yet. He is rotating towards the southern half of the map, but Cure has a spotted Marine. With this Marine, he gives his life for the scout. Cure can reposition, re-siege. It's fine. Look at him go. Beautiful. And I don't think Clem can really force his way in. Sure, he has disables with his Ravens. Sure, he has a bit of a higher Viking count, so he can try and force his way through. But, God, you just lose so much when trying to do that. You don't want to, like, you know, throw away your lead. Speaking of, Liberator gets a little bit of damage. Army once again rotates towards the natural. Does get scans. Cure sees. It's all about that vision. All about repositioning. All about that scouting. And we'd be chilling. Nice. We're in for a longer one, people. Clem realizes he's like, you know what? I just can't break this guy. Every single time I move around, he sees me. So in the end, Clem just backs off. We're taking more bases. We got a 4th CC on the way. What am I eating after this? That's the real question. Oh my god, the Spotter Marines are so good by Clem, by the way. Let me just quickly check here. He's got Marines here, 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 and up here towards the north. So he does have eyes on the army. So again, that's what it's all about. It's all about that map control, that map vision. And Clem, because he's so on point with it, like, it's so difficult for Cure to find a way in. Against a lesser Terran player, then I'm sure either one of these players would have been able to, like, catch their opponent off guard and really, like, get in there and deal some damage. But so far, just because of how adamant they've been when it comes to their presence on the map, it's really difficult for either one of them to really find any damage, and they just kind of bounce off each other. Just goes to show how good they both are. Like even this, we have like a double drop going towards the north. He gets spotted by Cure. Cure, he pushes through the middle. There are spotted Marines here. Gets spotted by Clem. Clem repositions. Clem moves in. Cure moves out. He knows in the back of his mind that there's a drop over here, so he has to get ready for it. Cyclone, ready for the drop. Some nice technical play. Clem, he leaves a Marine behind. See what Clem does with this. He commits. He's going for the drop. There is a Cyclone, but only one Cyclone. Not much else. And the Cyclone will go down, followed by a couple of these workers at the same time. Looks like both armies were trying to posture, but neither one pushes in. So a nice small win here for Clem. 2 SCV kills. Not the biggest of deals, but, you know, he doesn't lose much for it. It does tax away at Cure's attention. And Cure, once again, is trying to find a way in. That's all he wants. He just wants to get in. Just can't do it. And Clem is getting ready for the Raven switch, by the way. As we have a bit of a small drop here, but it's not going to find much damage. He gets cleaned up. Oh, I spoke too soon. Kills all the Marines. Going to be able to get the tank as well. Oh my god, this is getting a lot of value. More value than it should have. Drops into the natural. Going to get even more damage. At the same time, the main army of Clem is pushing out, and there are the disables. A little bit more in favor of Clem. And what I was referring to earlier, as Clem just get forced back and the drop eventually gets cleaned up, Clem threw down 2 additional starports. There they are. 2 additional starports with 2 tech labs. He's switching hard into 3 Ravens at a time. 3 Raven production. Meanwhile, I don't think Cure is there yet. Oh no, never mind. Just a little bit slower. 2 starports are done. Oh, and Cure has found a way in. Oh my god, he catches a lot of these tanks on siege. He does catch one, almost a second. But maybe he was a little bit too ambitious with this. He does find a really nice position here though, and he does take out, what, 2 tanks? Forces Clem's main army to be separated from the defensive position of this planetary. Nice moves from Cure. He found a way in. Meanwhile, the Vikings are going ham. Looks like another Raven will go down for free before getting any spells off. But Clem collapses on this army. He cleans everything up. Ooh, more importantly, all the Vikings go down as well. But at the same time, Cure, he finds so many tanks for free. Clem didn't respond. Oh my god, is this it, mate? 3 tanks go down. He could get a couple more, but Cure doesn't commit. Both players catching each other there. Clem has lost a lot more tanks this time though. So Cure trading a little bit more efficiently. I'm still waiting for the switch. It's not here. Like, we need more tech labs. We need Corvid reactor. Like, the Cure's transition is a little bit delayed. Just a bit, just a bit. Meanwhile, it is freezing here. So I am wrapping myself up in a blanket. Huh, huh. Okay, there we go. Cure, he's finding a way and he's looking for a way, and he is spotted by the sensor tower pretty early on, so Clem is trying to reposition in time. Forced to cancel his CC though. At the same time, we do have a small run by here of Marines. Gonna get a couple of workers being a little bit annoying, but again, Clem still has the massive Raven count, and he does disable 3 of these tanks, pushes on forward with his own. And he's going to be able to take this position here. Oh my god, how many more tanks? I thought he was only going to get 2, but he's going to get every single one. All 4 of them go down. At the same time, these Marines were getting far more damage than they should have. 18 SCVs go down. That's crazy. Like, Clem would be in such a dominant position right now if this didn't just happen. Like, these Marines, there's barely any of them, and they've just gotten so much. They're going to keep going, by the way. It's crazy. Clem, though, he's had enough. He's like, you know what, your Marines, they can do whatever the hell they want. I just want a massive engagement. I just basically reset your tank count. I'm going to keep going. And keep going he will. This base is still not a planetary, so it will give Clem enough time to siege up on said base, and he will be able to easily take this down. Repairs are not going to be enough there, mate. Oh my god, at the same time, we have Clem pushing down into the 4th base of Cure. Cure going for a bit of a Marine run by here, going to be able to focus down a couple more bases. So a bit of a pseudo base trade here. Does force a cancel on 1. But Cure, this base is so much more important here for him. This is his 4th mining base. How does he contend with this? He doesn't have enough Marines at home. He needs these Marines at home to push into this. Sure, he has tanks, sure he has some Ravens, but that's pretty much it. And there we have it. The Marines are finally coming back home to defend, but not before the planetary does fall. Ay, ay, ay. Just a little bit too late, Cure. Regardless, like, there's not a lot of buffer here for these tanks. The Cure can still collapse on this, and he can still clean up this army. It feels almost as if Clem has, like, given up on that army. He's like, you know what? I know you're going to get these tanks anyway. I'm just going to go across the map, and I'm just going to keep that pressure up. And he's suffocating Cure. This is the last mining base for Cure. The others are mining out. He barely has any mineral patches left. Like, Cure is just suffocating. he just, what can he do here? He goes for a counterattack, but there are tanks sieged up at home. Like, this army has done nothing. Like, he tried to defend the right-hand side, then he pulled back. Now he tried to defend the south, but then he pulled back. He tried to attack, then he pulled back. Like, he just hasn't really been able to accomplish much with this force. And there it is. Now Cure is down to 3 bases. And he just doesn't have a lot of mineral patches left. He needs something. He needs anything. But Clem is just not letting him have it. Oh, we had an anti-armor missile here. What's that gonna do? Just gonna buy Cure a little bit of time. There we go. Finally, this 4th base is being retaken. Mules it as hard as possible. But Clem is maxed out, and Clem should be hitting this base once again. And when he does, not if, but when he does, we'll see if Cure is going to be ready for him. Moving out now is not the move. It's a I feel like, Cure, you want to be the defender in this stage. Okay, here we go. Cure scans. He wants to meet the army. Oh, does scan on forward, does stim on forward, I should say. Gets a lot of disables off. Maybe he can clean up these tanks. Up, up. 1, 2, 3 of them go down. 4. Oh my god. 5. Jesus. Cure taking a massive win here on the southern half of the map, and he keeps a lot of his Ravens alive. the same time, Clem tried to push into the third of Cure, but just can't get up that ramp. And that was enough to get Cure back into this. Because you know what? Off the back of this, he had of course secured this base. He's taking another base as well. I thought he floated over his natural, but no, he's just taking it. And yeah, just like that, that lead that Clem had earlier, he doesn't have it anymore. Taking more free shots. Oh. Is that me? No. Oh god. BMO, please. No. F's in the chat. BMO, unfortunately, his internet couldn't keep up. I hope everything's okay, whether it's a power outage or just his internet going down. I hope everything's okay. Meanwhile, at the same time, that was a very decisive moment for that DC, because in comes Cure pushing up into the rich Vespine gas base here, and Clemmy's just not ready for it. He's trying to siege up as best he can. Oh, he just doesn't have a buffer, and Cure is just pushing on forward, takes out the base. Just like that, Curie's got so much momentum going his way. What is there to defend? We still have a couple of tanks, but they are not in position. And Cure, he doesn't just take one base, he takes a second. The Ravens, no! One more volley! The high energy Raven goes down, GG gets called. And Cure ties up the series 1-1. And I'm just I kind of hope that the DC, the latency there didn't affect that game, because that did happen just as Cure was attacking and pushing in. So I hope Clem is okay. Not gonna lie, I hope he's okay. I hope it didn't affect that game. Yeah. GG. As we are getting ready for game 3. Oof. I think Clem needs a moment after that. I'm just rewatching the just rewatching the replay there. These are looking very chaotic, very chaotic. Here we go. The players are ready, so we're going to be diving into game 3. Tied up. This is now essentially a best of 3, no longer a best of 5. But Romanticide is already off the table. Same with 2,000 atmospheres. I think that was map 1. I could be wrong. It's a bit of a blur. Such an unfortunate lag moment. Yeah. Really unfortunate. That was oh boy. But here we go. We are spawning into game number 3 of this best of 5 grand finals. And in the top left, we have the European Terran. He's red, representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. A very unfortunate engagement there on Romanticide, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Lightshade ALE, the guy who was down so much in the last game, but he pulled himself back up. We have our Korean Terran. He's blue. He is Cure. Oh boy. Cure versus Clem. This is it. Some of the best Terrans in the world. And honestly, it goes to show how even they can be, because it's like the trades and like the way that they move their army, like it has been pretty, it's been very high level here. Like even when one of them catches the other out, it's slowly followed up by the same happening, but reversed. So it's just been very back and forth here between these two. They're both just looking for a way in, looking for one moment, and that moment is all they need to get a lead. And is that enough to end the game? More often than not, it's not, but yeah. Sometimes it can just be enough to push you over the edge. That's exactly what Cure found. Exactly what he found in the last game. And we'll see where we go from here. Because I'm legitimately surprised that here, when we're tied up 1-1, we don't have a proxy. We don't have someone going for a proxy racks. It is insane to me. Especially on Lightshade. Like, Lightshade is one of the more aggressive maps. But alas, we do not have it. And now we are getting to this opener once again. It does feel like, at least in the openers, Cure is typically the aggressor here. Is he going to continue that trend, or is he going to open up a little bit safer? As both players go for their CCs on low ground. Neither player staying on one base for longer than they want to, than needed, than necessary. And this reminds me of Nice earlier today, the PvP that we caused, Nice versus Gilzing, because the Reapers of Cure were waiting for the Reapers of Clem, but Clem just went the long way around and he just avoided the Reapers completely. He wasn't able to avoid the Hellion as he, oh my god, as he does get forced back, almost loses his own Hellion in the process. Nice maneuvering there by Cure. Cure, he still wants to catch them, and he will. No, Clem on autopilot a little bit there, as he does lose one of his Reapers. And now Cure has the Reaper advantage, so we'll see who gets the first shot off. We'll see how good the splash damage is from the Hellions. Up, up, up. There we go, another Reaper does go down, but it looks like, yeah, Clem will just barely hold on. Oof. And with that hold, Cure does get into the middle line. He doesn't get any worker kills, any SCV kills whatsoever. And now this is interesting. Cure going for a much faster 1-1-1 into Banshee. But he's not investing into Cloak. He's just getting a vanilla Banshee, which I do like, just because Raven openers are so common. So like doubling down and investing into Banshee Cloak, like more often than not in a TvT, it's not worth it. It's not worth it at all. We saw it last game. Cure, if you remember it was 20 minutes ago, but Cure did open up with a Banshee, with Cloak Banshee, and he wasn't really able to accomplish much with it at all. Meanwhile, Clem is trying to force his way in, but yeah, the Hellions, they get cleaned up. Cyclone gets forced back. He cannot get into the middle line of Cure either. And now, it all lies on the shoulders of this one Banshee here across the map. There's not much anti-air. There's a Cyclone though. That's 2. 3 SCVs, 4. Can we get 4? Up, up, up. We do get 4. Not 5. But 4 SCVs do fall. Had not the worst trade. What's unfortunate is that Cure didn't get into the main with that Banshee, so we can't justify that with scouting information either. It's just straight up 4 kills. It's okay, I guess. Oh my god. Cure rocked up with his Cyclones, hoping to maybe catch a Raven or catch anything, and immediately, boom, just loses a Cyclone immediately to the tanks. Ugh. Very unfortunate. So he does get forced back. Rebuilding his army, working on that Raven count. Both players are, of course. Cure is going to have a little bit less energy to work with because his Raven was delayed due to the Banshee, but he will have the Ravens regardless. That's the third CC on the way here, but it was on location for Clem. Clem, he's already got it up and running. It's already in orbital. Cure's just, yeah, just a little bit delayed, a little bit late. Not by too much, though. It's okay. It's okay. And Clem is just looking, poking for a way in. Can he get in? I do think there's a lot of potential with this. I mean, there's always potential when it comes to Ravens, right? It's all about the Raven control. It's all about who's able to siege up first. In the end, Clem, he does try to find a way in, but oh my god, both Cyclones do trade against each other. Nice, you don't see that too often. But Kira, he's so on point with the scouting. Does scan the army of Clem, sees everything, doesn't have any scouting marines, which is a little bit sus. It's a little bit scary. Oh. It is okay. It's okay in the end. Clem just can't really find a way in right now. And honestly, so this is the great thing about Lightshade, is that it forces these engagements a little bit earlier on because it's so small. Like, this map is so cramped up compared to some of the others. Which is why Clem, he's already here. He's already trying to find a way in. We'll disable 2, 3 of the tanks, throw down a bunch of auto turrets. Is this going to be enough to break through the tank line? It looks like one tank will fall, maybe a second. Clem, he's trying to force his way through, and for the most part he has a lot of tanks behind this. He just needs to get them into the fight. Get in there, buddy. Leapfrog, go. Huh, huh, huh. Oh god, but he's not feeling it. He doesn't get there in the end. Cure did outmaneuver him a little bit, and Cure pushes him back. Oh boy, it looked like Clem was about to break through. Honestly, it's just he just didn't have enough marines. He was a little bit too slow, maybe with the unsiege as well on the tanks that were far behind, so he couldn't push them forward. And Cure, even though he came out worse in that fight, he still holds on and he can rebuild what he has lost. An interesting difference here is that he is diving into those Liberators a little bit earlier. Much earlier compared to the previous games. Investing far less in medevacs. So again, he's looking for that head-on engagement, not necessarily any kind of drops. Meanwhile, Clem did go for the medevacs instead. He actually doesn't have any Vikings with his army, which is a kind of terrifying thought, to be honest. Ravens are finding a way in. Oof. They will lose their lives. Forest, they only got 1 disable off, by the way, as well. This is not the best trade here for Clem. As he loses everything. I'm surprised. I'm honestly surprised this Raven is alive, by the way. It shouldn't be. Oh, there we go. But yeah, even though Clem came in from a different angle, like, he only got 1 disable off, and it was on the tank that was farthest back, so it impacted the fight the least. So Cure, he decidedly took it, and now he's pushing across the map. Sure, there's a defensive position here for Clem, but Cure, instead of Ravens, he has his own Liberators. Oh, and with those Liberators and these Vikings, he just has so much control in these fights. He just has to unsiege, re-siege, just force Clem further and further back. And if Clem tries to stop him, well, I mean, mate, you got plenty of Vikings to deal with that. You got plenty of tanks as well. Oh god, Clem, he's gonna try as he does get a pretty good position on the high ground. The Marines are coming in. He's forced to pull all the boys. At the cost of 8 SUVs, he breaks the contain. And was it worth it? I mean, it was well worth it because apparently 8 SUVs is like Clem still has the worker lead despite that fight. And now here we go. So I was really worried for Clem, and that's why I'm impressed he won that fight just because he didn't have any Vikings at all. He was relying a lot on medevacs. And I'm like, okay, well, if he can somehow defend and stop this like frontal push, here we go. We can go for these drops. It is spotted by the Liberator, but was Cure actually looking? We see a scan. He was looking. He sees. The Marines are responding. We have a small group of Marines going into the main. We have the rest moving here towards the southern half of the map. At the same time, Liberator shows up. A decent amount of SCV kills. 5. Lost fighting time. You know, not bad, not the worst. And yo, Cure, he wants to catch his army. And he will. There is no siege. This army was completely out of position. Speaking of out of position, though, at the same time, Clem sends his reinforcements towards this planetary base. Luna try and snipe it, take it down. And he catches... Oh! Almost catches some unsieged tanks, but doesn't, not in the end. He should still be able to take down this base. Should is the key word there, because Cure, he finished dealing with the drop, now he can send everything up towards the north and he can focus on this attack. Oh my god. And Cure defends on both fronts. He defends the south and the north at the same time, and now he can push out across the map. Clem, he hasn't missed a beat with his production, with his macro. He does keep up for the most part in army supply, despite taking those losses. Clem is forced, I say forced, he is looking to try and expand, take another base. Oh, Cure has to be careful. Both armies have to be careful here. It's all about who reacts first. Cure does siege up, he is pushing on forward. Meanwhile, where are the tanks of Clem? Yo, they are far away. They are not here at all. Now is the moment for Cure, but Cure doesn't push up the ramp, and now the tanks are able to reposition. God, there was a moment there where Clem wasn't where he needs to be, but Cure, he didn't go for it. Didn't go for it in the end. Oh boy, oh boy. Meanwhile, Clem is trying to go for a surround, and he's going for it. He's going for the full 360. Pulls the boys as well. He's collapsing on all of this. He's going to be able to get on top of the tanks, and he actually swallows up the entire army of Cure. GG gets called. Clem takes game 3. Wow. What an amazing position there for Clem. Now Clem just needs one more Urumas, and then he is our ESL Open Cup Americas champion. Also, for those who know him and recognize him, happy birthday to Chase. It's Chase's birthday today. He woke up not long ago. Chase, of course, an Australian Zerg player. Actually, a lot of players had their birthday today. In the past 24 hours. A lot of players. Meanwhile, ooh. Okay, Okay, I know who I'm gonna raid after this. Right, here we go. Will this go all the way to the ace match, or will it end here on Oxide LE? That's what we are about to find out. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Oxide, we have the French Terran collapsing in a full 360 surround on the army of his opponent in the previous game. He just needs one more to close it all out. It is Clem. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Oxide LE, we have the South Korean Terran representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming, DPG. He needs to bring it back here and now, otherwise he is out of the tournament. He is done here. He needs to win this to take it to the ace match. It is Cure. All right, and we'll see. I mean, so I was kind of hoping, and we're not going to see it here, but honestly, because he's up against the wall, like, I was hoping Cure would take like a page out of Maru's book and like go for a proxy or something crazy like that. It's not. It's not really going to happen, unfortunately, but I was hoping. It's on Oxide as well. Like here, we often see players proxy at the third base location or out over here outside the main, but I guess it's also too obvious. Also, that's not really Cure's MO. He's not Maru at the end of the day. Like this, when he's up against the wall and when everything is on the line, he's not one to proxy. More straight up, more standard, more solid. Alright. And with that Cure, he just SCV scouts, confirms the opener. Yeah, it's, racks into a factory, just like he himself is going for. Meanwhile, if I'm not wrong, yeah, Clem is in the dark. He actually didn't go for an SCV scout. Bold move, mate. Bold move. So instead, just relying on his Reapers to scout later on. If there was a proxy or something like that, then he wouldn't really know. But of course, it wasn't SCV scout, and that's a bit of a tell anyway, that it is a little bit more standard here. Oof. And once again, we have some pretty standard openers here. No one is going for anything crazy like a fast, like 2 or 3 racks or anything like that. We still have our 1-1-1s, which we've been seeing throughout this entire series. We have seen deviation, right? Of course, the standard thing is to rush out a Raven, but we have seen Cure multiple times this series go for Banshees. First time on the Romanticide was with Cloak, second time last game was without Cloak, but these initial Banshees really haven't been doing too much. I think last game, one of the Banshees got 5 worker kills, which isn't bad by any means, but what this means is, you know, because it delays your Raven, it means that your Raven has so much less energy compared to your opponent when those fights do happen. Meanwhile, Clem is pushing on forward, and he's kind of snowballing here again. Like, because Cure went for an add-on after the initial Reaper, he really doesn't have a lot to work with. He also skipped his Cyclone, went for a tank instead. With the Cyclone, you can usually force your way down this ramp, but because it's a tank, it does still push Clem away. Clem could have tried to reposition behind the mineral line, be even more annoying, but he is forced back. What's important is that he did see the tank, and that's a big tell. Like, the safe play is the Cyclone. Because it's a tank, that does mean that, of course, a counterattack is possible. Cure, he picks up, he's going across the map. What does Clem have to defend? Ooh, interesting. This time, it is Clem's turn to go for the Banshee instead for the first time this series, and it forces Cure back. Right? If Cure committed to this, the Banshee could just deal with the tank, clean everything up, and then Cure's push is just gone, mate. His opener is just useless. Instead, they do spot each other, and ooh, the Cyclone actually catches the Banshee. Beautiful. So sure, the aggression that Kira wants to go for is thwarted, but at the same time, he also stops the aggression of Clem. So things kind of equalize in the end. We're back to neutral. When it could have gone, honestly, pretty badly for Cure. Oh boy. And speaking of happy birthday, I was talking about Chase's birthday, I was talking about Yanji's birthday. Happy birthday, TLO! The little one, the doctor himself, Dr. Dario. It is his birthday. It actually just ticked over. As he is living in Canada, I believe it just hit midnight in Toronto. So, happy birthday, Dario. Happy birthday. Make sure everyone to wish him happy birthday on social media. Again, TLO, he does a lot for StarCraft. He doesn't compete like he used to, but he did for many, many, many years, ever since the beta of Wings of Liberty, up until last year, actually. Last year, he was competing in DreamHack. This year, he stepped away from competing, but that's because he's been focusing on working with TL and Shopify and kind of merging the two, or helping them partner together in a lot of projects. Meanwhile, here we go. Cure is pushing out. He is set up here outside the third base of Clem. Clem has eyes on this, does scan, does confirm. Oh, and Cure is going for the disable. Oh, let's get one tank. He's pushing on forward. And he does actually catch a second tank here with his Cyclones. Oh my god, takes out both of them. And now with 0 tanks, mate, Clem is in trouble. A third tank does show up here, just barely out of that factory. Will siege up on the high ground, but he's forced to evacuate and give up his third. Not just give up the third, but a lot of the units were just trapped here and they all go down. 9 SCVs. Oh god, Clem is trying to be fancy. He lands his Vikings. Sure, he can get a tank, but he loses his Vikings. Not just his Vikings, but also his Ravens. And that is it. GG gets called. We are going to that ace match. Everything just fell apart there for Clem. Losing all of his tanks like that, a lot of his army was trapped on the low ground. They had nowhere to escape, no way to escape. GG. All right, we're setting up. Here we go. The final. What were the vetoes? Okay, hold on. Blackburn and Jagannatha. Blackburn and Jagannatha were vetoed. If people in the chat can do some math, you know what that means? That means the ace match is gonna be on Beckett Industries. Let's go. It's still TvT, so it doesn't mean hyper aggression by any means, but my oh my. We've made it, people. I didn't think I could. Despite the lack of the breakfast and the sleep, we have made it here to the grand finals of ESL Open Cup 79 Americas. And here in the bottom left hand corner, we have the French Terran. He is red, representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the top right hand corner of Beckett Industries ALE, we have the South Korean Terran. He is representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming DPG. It is Cure. Oh boy. I can't believe it's going to be decided on Beckett Industries. Like that's the most exciting thing for me. Like I'm surprised that they vetoed Blackburn, to be honest. So Blackburn and Jagannatha. Jagannatha makes sense to me. But Blackburn over Beckett Industries? Okay. To be fair, so I mentioned this before, this is TvT, and in a TvT, you can have a split map scenario. You can pretty easily split this map up, and, you know, still slow things down. But the game is still not going to go on too long just because of how few bases there are on this map and how condensed and small this map is. So it does force engagements a little bit earlier on. A little bit. So we'll see how this turns out. My oh my. As right now, Kira's just being a little bit annoying. Oh god, it's fine, it's fine. Just delays the CC of Clem by a little bit. He also confirms that it is a CC follow-up, a much faster CC compared to Cure. Cure, I mean, he's been opening up like this the entire series, goes for a racks into a factory. Meanwhile, Clem being a little bit more greedy here on Beckett. Beckett making it through. Right, Alexandros? Right? It's crazy. Oh god. Meanwhile, here we go. Reaper shows up. It's not going to find too much damage here for now. But again, what's important is that because Clem was greedy, even more so by not just delaying his factory, but also getting an add-on on his racks, Cure is going to have a moment here where he's got a Reaper. He's got a second Reaper. He's going to have a Hellion as well, as the Hellion is about to pop out. And it doesn't take that long to get across the map. So he can potentially delay the CC, delay a lot of mining here at the natural. He just needs to focus down the SCV. Boom. 2, 3. Delays the CC. What deals with this? 1 Reaper and 2 Marines? Mate. Okay, there we go. Hellion pops out. CC does get finished up. And for now, Clem does... Oh my god, no! God. Clem needs to calm down with that Reaper. Almost loses it, just barely pulls back in time. Mate, if he lost that Reaper, things would have gotten just out of hand very quickly. But Cure does pull back, didn't get the Reaper in the end, and Cure gets its own CC just a little bit later compared to Clem. Oh boy. Meanwhile, because of the 1-1 opening, Starport on the way, Tech Lab about to finish up. Meanwhile, no Tech Lab here for Clem, which again makes sense because of his build. Like, everything would have been so late in comparison. Instead, going for a medevac like this, he wants to go for a drop and utilize all of these Marines. Meanwhile, Cure is aware of the opener. He saw the Marine count. He saw a glimpse of the Marine count, so yeah, he's ready for a drop. He does have a Cyclone in the main base, but the drop is still on the way, and the main is quite large. You know, it's not guaranteed that the Cyclone will be able to get a lock on and stop said drop. So we go, the drop is boosting across the map right now. It will be in range of the Cyclone. Cyclone gets a lock on. Nice response, quick, fast response by Cure. Already getting more than half the HP of the medevac. Forces him back. Cure even sieges up. Yep, he does force the drop away. Has to be so careful with this drop. Make sure it doesn't get focused down. And Clem gets pushed back. But it's fine. He lost a Marine. That's it. Lost a single Marine in that. Oh, no, never mind. Lost 3 Marines. Never mind. Oh, so just check the units. Yeah, so check the units lost. But it's not the worst scenario in the world. Like, you know, he's still okay. He's still keeping up. Just a small win for Cure. Meanwhile, Cure is pushing out across the map. What do we have here? We have 2 tanks. We have 2 Ravens as opposed to the singular tank for Clem. A little bit worrisome. Clem already taking a bit of damage there. Still has to wait for that second tank to come out. Again, there is enough energy here on the disable, so Cure can disable this 1 tank and then push on forward with his army. Oh my god, he doesn't even need to. He sieges up and he puts this starport under threat. Gonna be able to take out the reactor. And sure, 1 Viking is great and all, but it's not gonna do much here. Oof. Clem forced to pick up, forced to pull back. At the same time, Reapers actually sneak into the main base, get a couple 4 worker kills. Honestly, not bad at all. And what's scary is that Cure is reinforcing with Vikings. What's scary about that is that Clem only got 1 Viking out, and the starport was forced to lift up. It was forced to reposition. So again, air superiority is well in the hand of Cure right now. There we go. We have the Sable on the tank. The tank will go down. Oh my god, the auto turrets try to flank, but honestly, they don't get too much here. But there we go. The Vikings are trying to focus on the tank. They will. There's only 1 tank remaining here for Clem. Still energy remaining on this Raven for 1 more auto turret, but the Vikings are coming in. Oof. Mate, without those Vikings, Cure would have just kept going. And he still is. Clem has forced the boys off the line. There are the auto turrets to help buffer for Cure, but it looks like Clem will be able to just barely break through, but he is sustaining a lot of losses. I don't know if this was worth it. 14 SCVs go down. And now he's got to go. He's got to go across the map. He's got to try and deal equal damage. Cure, he's got a 3rd TC already done and waiting. What kind of army does he have left? He still has his Raven. It is being repaired. He has a tank. It's got to siege up. Scans. Cure's going to be smiling to himself. He sees the 3rd TC. He sees that it is still under construction. Meanwhile, Cure has an orbital. It's done. It's been done for a long time now. And Clem doesn't commit. Oh, he doesn't know. That's the thing. He doesn't know the situation he's in. There we go. Finally, we have a scan. He sees the orbital. He's like, oh god, I gotta not necessarily push in, but delay the 3rd. I cannot let him get a 3rd base. Oh, it's Cure with a bit of mismicro there. Cure, please, 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 land. Ay, 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 land, papi. Land the CC. Cure, this is not the time. Oh no, the SCVs are back. This is hurting Cure so much right now. Oh god. Land, please, make some room. Make way. Okay, there we go. Jesus Christ. Alright, so Clem's back into this. He's oh god. As we can see for a moment there, Clem just skyrocketed ahead when it comes to the economy. But here we go. He's pushing on forward. Cure does have the Viking advantage, and he does snipe the Raven. No more Ravens left for Clem, and that just pushes him all the way back. Clem, what do you do here, buddy? What do you do? What's the plan? How do we come back? Drop? There's 1 medevac. Maybe. I mean, he does now have the superior Viking counts. Yeah, does pick off 2, 3. 3 Vikings go down. Nicely done. Same time, Clem comes out on top in that small trade, tank versus tank. Oh my god, the SCVs are forced off the line. Yo, where are the rest of the tanks here for Cure? Cure in a desperation move. He's gonna try and break this, but all the SCVs fall. Ay, ay, ay. That was not the move, Cure. There was nothing forcing him to do that. Like, it wasn't like Clem was pushing in. And just like that, Cure had a massive worker lead, and he just threw all that away. 18 SCVs fell. The Vikings are falling. Like, Cure, he still has, like, we're still in an equal economy situation, so he could afford that loss, but no more from here, buddy. Like, here we go once again. Clem looking for a way in. There are Marines here to help protect these tanks towards the south. Cure, he's pushing out as well. Going for a bit of a counterattack. I don't believe Clem has spotted this, but he does pull back. He doesn't feel safe. 4th is started. Meanwhile, I don't think Cure has his own 4th. So Clem, yeah, he's on top of this. Like, he's back. Will force a cancel on the fourth. Nice. But, like, again, earlier, Cure had such a massive lead, such a massive advantage, and now he doesn't. Like, now things are close once again. Things are neck and neck. He had some nice moves denying the fourth CC, but the fourth CC is being rebuilt here in the natural base. Meanwhile, Cure still hasn't started his own, so now the pressure is on him to make something happen. Tanks are being set up. Very good defensive position here by Clem. We have tanks literally all over the place. And without Medivacs, how do you break this? He's he's trying to force his way through. Takes out 2 tanks. Gonna take out a 3rd, but that is all for now. Honestly, good trade. 3 tanks for only Marines. Nicely done there by Cure. He saw that there were no Marines protecting that siege line. And now he's getting ready for, like, some multi-prong. Clem is ignoring the army, by the way. We have a drop in the natural. Oh my god, the SCVs are forced off the line. Cure is pushing into the 3rd. At the same time, there's only 1 tank to hold off. And Clem is going for the base trade. I say base trade, like there's still an army here at home. Oh my god, the tanks are on siege! Oh god, okay. There weren't enough Marines. Here we go, the boys are pulled off the line once again. They're getting on top of the tanks. The Marines come from behind as well, and Cure swallows this army from every single angle. And that's it, mate. Clem, he was hoping so much. He was throwing everything that he had across the map, and as a result, he lost everything at the natural. He's losing a lot here at the 3rd. Like, he went for a Hail Mary play, and a play that he didn't need to go for. He could have just thrown around and defended, but he opted not to. And that's just cost him the game. The 3rd CC will fall. The tanks will fall. GG gets called. And Cure takes the series 3-2. Wow. GG. I am so surprised that Clem did that. Like, his army was there at the 3rd. Sure, he lost a couple of tanks, but his tank count was pretty comparable to that of Cure. You could argue maybe it was just a really awkward angle to like fight Cure back on. But for just sending it across the map like that, oh god, it felt like he had enough. And part of that could be because of the time. I think it's like about to be 6 AM in Europe, so maybe Clem just wanted to end it one way or another, you know, and he's like, let's just go, and wasn't the best call there. Cure was ready for him, was ready defensively and offensively. Just dismantled Clem there on Beckett. GG, well played, well deserved. Cure with the comeback. It was a reverse sweep. Clem was up 2-0, and then Cure won 3 games in a row, and that just shows how strong Cure is mentally, right? Like, to be able to be in a 2-0 position in the finals and not be phased by that and bring yourself back. Like, Cure, he has a wealth of experience compared to Clem, and I feel like that really paid off there in the end for Cure. Like, Clem was so close. He was so close to even 3-0ing Cure, but in the end, GG. Congratulations, Cure. He is this week's ESL Open Cup Americas champion. Oh, and yeah, thanks everyone for joining me today, by the way. I did solo cast this time, the entire event. Unfortunately, Milk won't be able to join me for ESL Open Cup Americas anymore. For those curious as to why, Milk, he does now have, he got a new job. He got a brand new job, and it does coincide with ESL Open Cup Americas, so he will not be able to join me to co-cast. Hopefully we're able to cast later on in other events, you know, whether it's DreamHack or some of the weekend events like Battle of the Americas or Sentimiento Latino, something else, because again, of course, I love casting with him. Like, we're good friends and we've been fellow Ducklings for a long time now, so hopefully we're able to sort something else out when it comes to casting together. And with that, also want to give a bit of a shout out to the other casters in today's tournament. You know, Pig played when he got knocked out. He started casting. Steadfast, Biomorph as well. Those are the other English casts today. Shout out to Jim Rising for pulling a pig and also casting in Spanish. Shout out to Rocklets for casting in Portuguese. Again, a lot of Portuguese, not just casters, but admins today. Shout out to Iascar. Iascar, without him, this event wouldn't be possible, as he does admin a lot of these ESL Open Cups. I believe he also admins ESL Open Cup Europe. I could be wrong, but I believe he does that as well, so it's a big day for him. And with that, thanks everyone for watching. I appreciate it. We will see you next time. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Chaosborn Serenity, Alexandros as well. For Shurs and ARJ Skater were here earlier. Grape Dactyl. So simple. So simple. Donnie, Donald. Thank you. Thank you everyone. I appreciate it, and give some love to Oreo, because I will most likely raid Oreo. I believe he is still live. Maybe. Possibly. We'll see. We'll see. I'll have to double check. Oh god, but he's a fellow duckling. A duck, not of the stars, but a duckling nonetheless. And he's playing Immortal Gates of Pyre. So yeah, if you're interested in the new RTS, then check him out. Check him out. Check out his stream. So yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time. Our next stream will be in 2 days with Grand Platypus Open, our weekly Oceanic and Southeast Asian tournament. So stay tuned for that. Until then, see you next time.